Oh, I've started with the engine section, the resin replacement. So I've cut off the kit part, cleaned up all the plugs off the resin bits. So they were, well, not plugs, it was 3D printed, so it was all the supports. I'd still need to clean the plastic kit part a bit more to get it better fit, but good news is it's the same. The width is right, but the panel lines don't match up. So that panel line is almost right, that one's off, that one's close, and that one's a bit off, so they're a bit off with that. So if you want, you can fill it and rescribe it. I'm just gonna, I'll see, I'll probably just leave it. I don't want to start hacking into that, really. Beautiful detail, fantastic compared to the where is all that? Yeah, but like I said, you're not really seeing it, so well, you can when you get around there and have a look, but it is quite something, and that'll go on as well, so that'll block it out even more. If you shine a torch in there, you'll see it. So how's that gonna? That'll come in this way, will it? How's that gonna work? Okay. That'll be, so that sits on there. Way that, and then it comes in. Alright, I got that the wrong way around. No. I'm gonna have to have a look at that better. It doesn't. Okay, so it doesn't. It's not meant to go in. It's meant to plug on the back by the looks of it. Okay. So that's I'll double check, but I'm pretty sure that's, well, I should say the interior green zinc chromate on the inside of that. I'll have a Google and see. I doubt it, but I might be able to find a picture of a Corsair engine, but it'll just be burnt iron or something, I guess. Once I sort that and get it glued on, then I'll clean up the seam join, and then I will put on the wings, clean them up, and then I'll start to clean up and put together gear doors, get them off the sprues, clean them up, ready for painting. A few other things got to go onto it. Yeah, so the construction part is getting there slowly. I'll paint this once I've got it all sorted, cleaned up. One last look before it disappears inside. It really is lovely. You should probably build a kit one, build this one and sit it next to the model, if that's you like that sort of thing, displaying the engine. So I used metallic smoke for the metal on it. I kept it a brighter colour, and I used, so this is US interior yellow green. I used a light type of chromate colour Hopefully that lighter colour might let that bit more light in when you look inside, so you might see some of this detail. Otherwise, grab a torch. Working through this, cleaning up that join I showed previously. I've done one round of CA, I've sanded the back, and there was a few little tiny holes still that need doing. Almost done. Then I'll paint it, then I'll set the intake ring on. Also, I'm gluing this together. I'm using CA glue, but I'm also using some white glue. So it's got both in case, because once that goes in, more so these contact points concern me. If you give the model a good bump, and CA glue sometimes comes apart, and that'll be floating inside. I do not want that, so CA glue has a better grip. Oh, still plugging away on this thing, cleaning up the seam joins, just about done. I think the underside's right. Give it another shot of some primer to check it again. A few areas on the spine I need to sand back and do that and check it again. I think I've finally beaten the intake into submission. You can see I've got a bit of putty in there. I ended up, when you put the that lip on, the inner side of that lip is wider than the fuselage section. So when I sand it down, one area, I was trying to get it flush, one area actually wore through that side of so that's not a solid piece, that's two sides. So instead of CA glue for that bit, I use Tamiya white putty and let it sit a couple of days. And then sand again, still not perfect, so I come in with CA glue, and I've sanded it back now, and I'm pretty happy. I think it's just about there. I'm going to give another shot of primer and check that again as well. This is this kit is, for me anyway, this is the most difficult part, is the intake, and that's nothing against the kit. That's like every time I do an F16 kinetic or whatever, that's always the worst bit for me. Basically, I hate intakes. I don't know if, I can't remember now, it's been a few days. If I showed, that's the dry fit of this. I'm gonna CA glue that pretty heavy, and I am gonna sand it back and then rescribe it, just because I don't think there's gonna be a neat flush join. I have prepared all my landing gear parts ready for painting. So I'm making progress elsewhere while I'm trying to work out these seam joins and that, the intake. I've started to so I've painted the yellow on my bomb. What I'm going to do is I have a set of O-rings I bought years ago. I think I got on eBay. It was cheap anyway, and there's like, just, I don't know how many, probably 30-40 different size O-rings, and I use them for doing bombs. So I set the O-ring on, and you come in at 90 degrees and spray your olive drab or whatever colour your bomb may be. And what I like about it is it's somewhat rough. It's not perfection, not a perfect circle, and if you can have it a bit off kilt or whatever. I hate decals normally, but the worst decal I reckon is those ones that you wrap around a bomb. They're crap, and they look crap. This looks more natural, raw, so I'll be doing that. As you can see, I didn't have the fuse in it yet. I'll paint the bomb then glue I had a look, I can't use the long fuse on the rear bombs because I'll hit the front bomb, which is a shame because I love the look of them with the long fuse. So I'll use these ones, and I'll put them on after I've painted it, and just dab CA glue on the end and plug it on. Then I'll paint the fuse a metallic colour because I don't want to risk bumping him and breaking him when I'm painting them. Basically is why I'm doing that, and I've got to cut these and clean them up and get the wheels ready. Then once I get the wheels ready, everything else is ready for painting. I just need to finish off doing this. So I'm going to go give it, I'll do the spine, and I'm going to give it another shot of primer and see how she looks. Finally, I've got success. I've finished off that intake. I've made it seamless, beautiful. Just a lot of work. So after I did the black primer, checked it, I had to, there was one little spot I had to fill again with CA glue. So what I did when I primed it this time, to make it a bit thicker than my normal primer, I used this Mr. Finishing Surfacer 1500 black, and I mixed it with rapid thinner so it'll dry quick. So I'm putting all the other parts on, gun, cannon cover, the that hump underneath, whatever that's for. What else would I put on? Oh, now I've realised I've made a mistake early on. I missed this section in the instructions to cut out the hole for the in-flight refueling probe. You'd think I would remember from the last 3 times I built it, but I guess not. This isn't the first time I catch myself out with Hobby Boss or Trumpet Instructions. I just overlook things. There's stuff going on everywhere and I've just overlooked it, that's all, no biggie. Fortunately, I can see in the moulding of the kit, when I look at the fuselage, I can see where it should sit. Texture's different around there, so I need to cut that out and level it all off so I can insert the probe, and for that pin I'll just cut the pin off. Once that's in, it'll just sit there anyway. I tried the old, it's too thick, but this is a good method. I can't tell you how many times over the years I've done builds I forgot to drill in the holes for pylons. If you do that, get a bright torch. This won't work here, but and I go turn all the lights out in a dark room, and when you shine the torch, the thinner plastic will light up, and then you just come in with a pencil or a pen, mark it, and then you're good to go. Just all my mistakes over the years. I'm an expert at that. So I'll drill some, what I'll do is I'll drill holes, and then I'll cut it out and use a file to neaten that all up. So that's going to take a bit. Seams are done though, and I've rescribed in my panel lines and rivets. So finally on the road to progress, it feels like. So once I sort this out, get that in, and then it's time to get these wings on. Like I said, this kit, even though they're plug, they fit good. You will probably, you can see there, I'll need a touch of filler putty. It's no big deal. That side's a little bit better, but they sit correctly, right angle, straight up. Alright, now I need to sort that out. I've put the Reskit wheels together. They're not the greatest. Of course they're better than kit detail, but a bit of work. So the tyre part has got, it's moulded with, or poured resin with, there's material inside, so you got to drill the material out, clean it out, which is okay if you got a decent tool to do the job. So I drilled it out a bit with a burr, and then I used a diamond bit to keep it round. And then when you cut the hubs off and put them in, they don't, if you cut both hubs off and put them together, they probably won't fit. You'll need to sand the back of them to get them to sit inside, the, especially on the larger wheels. I had to sand a fair bit off them to get them in properly. And there's, you can see the putty, there's a gap around them, so yeah, not the best ones I've ever had. So I fixed up that. You can see there I went a bit overboard. The gap's not that big. I've used this perfect plastic putty. I go excess, so let it shrink back, and next time I work on it, I'll wipe it back. It's water soluble, and it should be good to go. If not, then I'll use a bit of CA glue. So I did the same on here. I was gonna just pump it up with CA glue, but I thought I'll just CA glue it, but not heaps, enough, well, all the way around. But I was gonna put heaps and push it so it comes out of the seam and sand back, but I thought that's a lot of work. So I just glued it on, and I've used this same thing. I let it dry a couple of days, come back in, wipe it down, and then look at it, what I think of that seam join then, and then I'll go from there. Some areas might be okay, some areas might need cleaning up, and then I'll decide from there what I'm going to do. So that's a pretty good session, and almost, once I clean that up, then I didn't put the wings on yet because it's easy to work on it like that. So sort all that out, and then I shall put the wings on.